This is a program that is, I would say, jointly managed by two entities at UC San Diego. So one is the UC San Diego Skaggs School of Pharmacy and Pharmaceutical Sciences. And so we get faculty from that school to provide teaching and content to the program. But just as importantly, we have UC Extension that really handles a lot of the student concerns and requests. So anywhere from having questions on financial aid to CV review or instruction or guidance to also, handling matters about, for international students, visas and stuff like that. So it's in close collaboration, and we're proud to present this master's program. It's a Master of Science in Drug Development and Product Management. Next slide, please. So this program has been in existence now for 3 years. We're on our third group of students right now. And really the objective of this program is that we want to provide essentially a strong scientific knowledge base as well as soft skills, leadership skills for students to really be ready and educated and have that background to seek positions in the private sector, whether it be in pharmaceutical companies, the biotech, life sciences, or managed care industries. Next slide. So subsequently, we can have a very wide spiderweb, if you will, of potential students. But primarily what we are seeking for, or what we believe to be the ideal student or the audience that we're trying to reach out to, are individuals that not only have, let's say a BS degree in the life sciences, but essential work experience or have been employed in various professional settings. So pharma, biotech, marketing, maybe in the medical field, scientific field, business management, and legal. So it's a pretty wide spiderweb, if you will, of the various backgrounds that we believe that students coming into the program we want to see. Next slide. So the competencies of the program, we have several. I think it goes without saying where, we want to provide a solid educational foundation. But I think what makes this program unique is that not only is it just kind of the old school, didactic lectures where you have someone, providing content, but we really make an attempt to have small group activities. We really make an attempt to go beyond your traditional multiple choice, final exam or midterm by way of group presentations, group quizzes, and as well is that the content is very case-based. So knowing that we have a large San Diego presence in terms of pharmaceutical companies, we can get speakers in the local area to provide content in a case-based format. So as a result of that, the student will gain insight into the process of drug development, and again, as I mentioned earlier, acquire requisite knowledge and skills to collaborate effectively, and then lastly, create solid practical bridges for what we hope to be really some employment opportunities, not just in San Diego, but beyond. Next slide. So at the end of the program, we expect our graduates to have an understanding of the following. So pharmaceutical marketing, how do you launch a drug, and life cycle strategic planning. I do want to acknowledge that before I get into each bullet point is that we're not training you to be an expert in everything, but rather our intent here is to provide that broad view and overview of what you would expect from, a drug from preclinical development all the way through approval and post-marketing. So if you can kind of think of drug development in that spectrum, we want to cover content in those areas, as well as provide what we call skill sets, where a lot of these group activities or student presentations are there where you're going to be doing some part of that in the private or pharma sector. So for example, one course we teach, we discuss, protocol development and developing a CDP or clinical development plan, and that's your grade, if you will. But that is done in pharma companies, so we hope to provide you that kind of assignment, if you will, for the course, but it will be a skill set you can hopefully apply later. So not only, gaining understanding of various areas, so drug development, clinical data analysis, regulatory strategy and health policy. We do have a course that highlights, patent strategy, so a lot of the legal and IP or intellectual property protection in the US as well as globally. And then lastly, entrepreneurship. How do you start? We do have students that are interested in potentially looking at or contributing to starting a life science company. So we provide content in that area. Next slide. And so this looks like a really busy slide, but really we just want to highlight a couple points. This is a map of our curriculum. So in sum, this is a one-year program, and we are on the quarter system here. So what that means, it's 10 weeks of instruction for a fall quarter, 10 weeks of instruction for a winter quarter, that's, and then 10 weeks of instruction for spring quarter. So this is all done in one academic year, and students will take anywhere from 3 courses per quarter, with the exception of fall quarter, where you take 4, but it's really but really, if you look at the total number of units for each quarter, it's the same, 12, because, and then you need 36 units to graduate. I just want to kind of cover, or at least highlight, that the depth, but also the wide expanse or wide array of content being covered. So real quickly, in fall quarter, I would say it's a lot of foundational knowledge, pharmacotherapy, we'll talk about pharmacotherapy and diseases, some of the pharmaceutics for small molecules and macromolecules. We have our regulatory course, and then in winter quarter, we have a clinical trial course. And then in spring, you see the other courses listed here. There is a comprehensive exam that you see at the bottom. And what that is in lieu of a thesis statement to get your master's degree, you do, and we don't do that, but what we do is that you need to pass the comprehensive exam. And if you pass that, we can confer the master's degree to you. That is an appropriate assessment instead of writing a master's thesis. And so we can cover that, we can get more detailed if you have questions on that, but we've done that for the last 2 years with success. Next slide. And so now I'll transition over to Shannon, who'll talk about alumni job titles and employers. So thank you.
Great, thank you. So like I said earlier, part of my job with the program is being the career advisor. So it's great because I get to work with current students and alumni throughout their career journeys. So whether that's just starting with a basic resume or CV, and then all the way through networking and trying to figure out what they want to do. And then I get to see them in their new positions and see them grow from there. So most of the students, like we said, come in with either a scientific or business background. But it's really interesting to see what students will do with the program once they have completed it. So we had a project specialist working in clinical applications who became an associate clinical trial manager. We had a digital marketing assistant who moved over to quality assurance, and we had a research assistant who became a manufacturing scientist. So it is really interesting to see how students are able to leverage both their prior experience with the program to then move on to something that they're more interested in, they're more excited about doing. So here you can see some more job titles and employers that we have. Our students are doing, you can see here, working in the sciences, working in the business side, and at great companies, Ionis and Merck and Argonaut. Our students are doing really well. 87% of them have received either a promotion or a title change, or have gotten a new job since the first class graduated in 2019. So that's a pretty great statistic. I would say it's due to multiple things. I mean, I think one, like Dr. Ma was talking about, the curriculum is a great broad view of both the scientific side and the business side of the life sciences industry. I think also too, the faculty and staff of this program are really supportive. If you are interested in speaking with anyone about particular jobs or particular areas of employment, everyone is willing to help you. Everyone really wants our students to be successful. So I think that's a great avenue for our students. And lastly, the networking that is available just within the student class is, I think, vital to our students' success, because we have such a diverse group of students, you know, in our current classes, in addition to our alumni, that those connections are really powerful when students are, you know, looking to progress in their careers. And speaking of past students and doing great things in their career, I'm going to pass it over to Cece, who is a project manager, at Argonaut Manufacturing Services. Cece?
Hi. So I would like to say a little bit about my journey after I graduated, or a little bit before joining DDPM program, and then what that journey would be like after I graduated. I was working as a manufacturing operator, fill finish operation at a CMO for large molecule drug products. So these are injectable, sterile syringes and vials. So we work on products across the board, from cancer treatment, infusion, chemotherapy, to injection for migraines. And after during my study with DDPM program, I had an offer to intern at a consulting group where I accept projects at Gilead and Kite. And I was helping them with commissioning new facility for a gene therapy product at Oceanside. Upon graduation from DDPM, I accept a job offer from Argonaut as a project manager. And a lot of it has to do with me pivoting my education with DDPM program, as well as my internship experience at Gilead and Kite. And I have been at Argonaut ever since. So it has been a really, really great journey after graduating from DDPM.
Great, perfect, thank you. Okay, so we're going to move on to some of the more technical details of the program. Catherine, would you like to go ahead?
Yes, hi everyone. So I believe I did not mention before my role. So I am the graduate coordinator or graduate advisor for this program, and I'm here to support students, both prospective as you are applying, and also as a current student once you're in the program. So we'll go first over the total cost. So roughly you could expect to pay $32,000 for the total cost of the program. So that's 3 full quarters. And that's including all of your tuition fees, as well as UCSD campus registration fees. And the classes are all taught on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, and that's a strict schedule there, from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. And they do give you a break, of course, in between the 2 courses that occur each night. Next slide. Thanks. So for admissions, some of you might be in this process right now if you have an application open or you are thinking of starting it. The first thing I'd like to highlight, which is definitely a positive or a plus for some folks, is there is no GRE or GMAT required. So you don't need to submit a score to apply for our program. And I'll start at the top here where it says bachelor's degree. So we do require a bachelor's degree from an accredited university to apply for the program. And then moving to the right, GPA of 3.0. So we really do ask for a minimum GPA of 3.0 from applicants. Occasionally we may accept a student with slightly below 3.0, but we are looking for that tier of 3.0 and up. And then next would be work experience. So this program is designed to move students along throughout their career. So we are asking for students and applicants to have at least 2 years of work experience. Again, that can be flexible. So we have accepted students who have just 1 year of work experience, or a solid internship experience as well. It's just on a case-by-case basis. And then for the statement of purpose, so this is, I think of it as like a college essay. if you will. It's your opportunity to really describe yourself and your goals for your career development after the program and also within the program. So this is an essay. It's a 500-word essay that you will submit in the application itself. And this is definitely a highlight of the application that the admissions committee members look at. They really want to see, why do you specifically want to apply to DDPM versus, you know, hundreds of thousands of other master's programs that are out there. So they really want to see your drive there. Next would be a resume or CV. We do require that to be submitted. And if you are an international student, you are required to submit a TOEFL score or an IELTS score. And that would be a score report form, which you receive after you complete the TOEFL or IELTS score. Some of you might have questions about that. I'm happy to answer them later. And then next would be 3 letters of recommendation. So these are definitely a key component of the application. A lot of our applicants, we ask for you all to have at least 1 letter of recommendation from a current employer or a past employer. So a supervisor would be fine, a manager, occasionally some faculty members who you've taken classes from is okay as well. And these 3 letters of rec, it's designed so within the application system itself, all you have to do is type in the 3 email addresses of the recommenders, and then the system itself will automatically send an email to that recommender requesting a letter on your behalf. And then the next and last component here to the admissions process is rather unique to our program DDPM, is the interview. So the admissions committee, it's made up of 4 faculty members. They really want to get a sense of your background and your drive and desire in this program. So they want to know your career goals and why DDPM would be best for you. So you will have an interview. I will say that not every single applicant gets an interview, but most applicants do get an interview, and then we move on from there in the application cycle. All right, next slide. So some further information. So, you know, a lot of questions come up naturally as people go through an application packet and have to submit transcripts and a whole slew of things. So you can certainly email me at ddpm@ucsd.edu, and I'd be more than happy to chat with you as well about any questions you have. And then a lot of this, so all of this information that we talked about, plus more detailed information, as well as a breakdown of quarterly costs, is found on our website. And that website is ddpm.ucsd.edu. And we can answer some questions too today with you all. So thank you.